Welcome back to another video. Today, I want to discuss a topic that I think a lot of people suffer from, which is regret and knowing that you should make decisions that you don't make, and there are opportunities that eventually you lose. They happen once, and then you lose them, and then you think about what happened, what could have happened, what you should have done. You beat yourself up. You feel very frustrated. You feel very motivated, but you have trouble basically finding opportunities to repeat that experience because you don't put yourself willingly out of your way. So I basically gave you an answer that I'm foreshadowing an answer that I was going to expand upon later. So make sure that if you like this video, subscribe to the channel and also like the video because it helps the channel. So let's talk about it. So oftentimes what can happen is we can have opportunities, whether they're work related, whether it's related to relationships, social circles, speaking to people, getting an opportunity to meet somebody that you haven't met before, or making a connection, taking a chance on something that has a deadline associated with it, either a program or a some kind of product or service that you want to purchase, and you realize, or some investment that you want to make, and you think, if only I had made that decision, if only I had done that. So what's going to happen in the moment is every practice of you understanding that things have a greater purpose and you can find a purpose in everything that you do doesn't actually matter, because usually what's going to happen is you're going to feel a deep frustration with yourself. And so what I invite you to do is really ask yourself, as I said before, what happened, what you didn't do that made you feel that regret, and what is the opposite of that behavior is your true north. So you know that, say, for example, you didn't do something that you think according to your own standards or your own idea or your own really will, like you really wanted to do it, but you didn't do it, then you know, especially if you feel regret after the fact, that you know that that decision is the one to make. But that's not good enough, because you know, okay, well, this is what I know I need to do. But if we just did what we knew as human beings that we needed to do, then nobody would ever have any problems. We would just have self-awareness. We would be able to locate the specific areas where we need, work or growth, etc. And then we would just do those things and execute on them, and we would not have any issues. But unfortunately, that's not how things work. And I've spoken about other topics as well, as far as like how to properly go about this via leverage. So you want to get leverage on yourself. You want to create more discomfort or pain in the present moment, so that the whatever behavior that you're doing right now, or whatever mindset that you have right now, is actually more painful than the mindset or the behavior that you want to have in the future. Because once that occurs, you're more incentivized to change. So you have that incentive. So I already talked about that as well. So we're talking about leverage here. We're talking about being able to coach yourself, understanding how everything is there for like a greater purpose that you can actually use, as long as you see it as being there to help you. But fundamentally, it's not really going to help in the moment, especially if you're feeling very strong or intense emotions. So uh, in this particular instance, when it's really fresh in your mind, the best thing that you can do is allow yourself to not really think about, because here's the thing, is that thinking about something has its pros, has its benefits to a certain degree, but then when you keep thinking about it, you can't resolve anything, because the only thing that will resolve the way you're feeling is, number one, the how you're integrating it via your actions. So it's not just the quote unquote internal work, and also, whatever practices you happen to do, whether it's self-coaching, self-love, meditation, reflection, right? Writing memos, writing a journal, understanding what happened. But you can't do too much of that, because you're not going to get anywhere. And after you reach a certain point where you already have that understanding, you're like, okay, I know that this was it. Then you're going to continually ask yourself why you didn't do the thing. Why you didn't do this? That's not really as important, because the why is, it has its origins, it has its roots basically in the traditional conditioning that we've all undergone, especially growing up, but also to this day, because fundamentally we're all conditioned to a certain degree. So it's really about generating that level of awareness, that understanding, knowing what to do again in the future, and then also allowing some time to pass, and for you to put yourself in that situation again, where you're going to be able to repeat that same behavior, put yourself in a similar situation, so that you can do the right thing and then prove to yourself that you're not only you're able to do it, but you're linking the mistake with the success. It's in close proximity. So basically, what you're training your brain to do is every time I make a mistake, I look for the solution. Like I generate awareness, I look for the solution, and then I implement that solution. So essentially, you want to put yourself in places, in scenarios where you're able to repeat that same behavior, repeat that same circumstance to whatever degree that you can, so that way you can behave in accordance with that behavior that you wanted to exhibit, which you didn't, right? So that's those are the main keys, right? So we talked about leverage already. We already talked about understanding that everything has a purpose and is here to help you in some way if you allow that philosophy or that perspective to inhabit your mind and then see it as such and then generate that awareness, figure out exactly what you need to do and then do it, right? So find scenarios where you can repeat that behavior and then do the right thing. Because here's the thing is that um, you can ask yourself and you can put yourself in states of mind which are really unhealthy, especially if after that a particular instance you rationalize. So what that means is you find reasons why it wouldn't have worked or why it was this way. You don't want to go down that rabbit hole. You want to find out how is it helping you in the positive direction, not why you quote unquote made the right decision by not acting even though you wanted to act. You don't want to do that because you can use your rationality against yourself by making excuses for yourself, right? The fact is that you did not act in accordance with XYZ fashion. And so what that means is taking all of the lessons and then implementing them in the forward moving direction, right? Not taking the behavior that you exhibited and then finding reasons to justify that. That's not what you want to do. Because once you do that, then you're going to put yourself in a place where you're thinking, oh, well, I did the right thing. It was fine. It was supposed to be this way. Now, maybe on a higher level, everything is supposed to be in a certain way, but it doesn't help you, especially when you want to move in a particular direction. You don't do things to move in that direction. And then you say, oh, it was supposed to be this way because you're using your rationality to justify your inaction or the actions that are not in accordance with that future goal. So hope that was helpful to give you a little bit of perspective there and like how to use your mind to solve these types of problems. And that's it for me. So if you like the video, make sure you like it, subscribe to the channel. It always helps the channel. Join the school group as well. We do 2 group calls every single week, Tuesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern. It's free. And we also have a community in there. There's about, I think, 21 people roughly right now. And so if you like the way I explain things, join. We can have a discussion and we can work through things together. So until next time, I will see you soon.